Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Tel Cockerel Monday show, 11th of November, the day after the shit show, and it's also the predictions day, scores, results, whatever you want to call it. What I will do is today I've got it. I wasn't sure whether my esteemed colleague, the person that puts them on and crops them for me, was going to be able to do them in time for the show. So what I ended up doing is I ended up saving them the only way that I knew how, or without being able to crop them. And so I've got the results two ways. So I was just going to float it past people to say which they prefer, because one way I get a lot more fixtures in than the other way. I don't have to keep showing it in clips, but I'll show that in a minute. Yes, we have some people in the chat, which I'm surprised about, because a lot of people seem to be generally. But there we go. So you've got Adrian says, "Good afternoon, Jose Atal," and then he says he's start number one. I'm still pissed off. Peter Kagaias says, "Hi, all 2:55 a.m. in Melbourne." When he posted this, it's now going to be 3 o'clock in Melbourne, or 3:02 in Melbourne, and says he's also still pissed off. But Adrian says, "Is this the pissed off channel then?" And then you've got Ryan G says, "Good afternoon, Jose and Co. I'm not pissed because we finally won a game. I spoke to Mr. Shear, and Mr. Shear said to me, Ryan ain't pissed off." Peter Gagaya says, "Sure is Adrian." And then you're all speaking to each other. And then you've got Ryan says, "About time, Adrian, mate. First game we've won since April. Destiny 5. He's just saying hi, like he normally does. And then you've got Brian G says, "Surprised Daniel isn't here with his 5 correct scores this week." Um, and then you've got right. You haven't got anyone else. Right. So what I'm going to say before I carry on with this, we've got an international break, guys. And in the international break, it means that we've got more than enough time to chew Tottenham. What happened? What didn't happen? What's what and what's not? Got plenty of time to chew it. Just that I ain't going to chew it today. Simple. I will say that people I've spoken to since the match, spoken to my son, Sava, Spurs analyst, Danny, Ian Lubin, Ian Meth, Adrian, AJ, the Sheriff, David Shear, and Peter Kagaias. And the one thing that all 12 people are is pissed off, right? So people are all pissed off, right? And yeah, people are not happy with yesterday's result. Raji says, "Little Frankfurt screwed me in the last seconds of their games, or I'd have 4 correct scores." We have Alan here. Alan is saying, "Good morning, Jose, in the chat." Good morning, Alan. God, do you look different? You look much bigger now, so it looks like you've been pumping iron, and you've got that big old beard that makes you look like a grizzly bear compared to this young person with no beard whatsoever. Two different people. Two different people, Mr. Allen. Um, so yeah, what I've done is, as I said, I wasn't too sure whether my colleagues were going to be able to leave me or crop the scores for me. Because what I do is I do the scores, they're on a spreadsheet, and after I do the spreadsheet, I send it off to someone and they crop it and they put it all on for me. Well, today at 3 o'clock an hour ago, nothing was cropped. So I thought, oh my God, I ain't going to have it. So I'm just going to show you something quickly, right? And I just wanted to tell you to tell me whether it's preferable the normal way we do it or this way, right? So is it preferable that way, which gets a lot more scores in, or do you prefer it the old way? So which way should I do it? Because that's the way that I've got it all. That's the way that I've got it all. But or I can go back to the sheets because they actually did put the, was kindly they have put it into slides for me, like we normally show it. But do you prefer it the way that I've just shown you, or do you prefer it on slides? Ian says, afternoon all. How is still reeling from the debacle yesterday? Spurs diehards. Adrian says, Jose mate, the 12 you mentioned are all 12 disciples of pissed offism. That's what I'm saying. Everyone I've spoken to is pissed off. Doesn't matter where you stand on the spectrum about the club, right? The one common theme yesterday is that everybody is really pissed off. So yeah, so it's just everyone. Everyone I've spoken to is pissed off. You've got Daniel Coy saying, small down to everyone. Small down, Daniel, with that nice football kit on, son. Small down. Alan says, I'm frustrated with the team going to do a follow-up video about the coach, leadership, or the lack thereof, and my thoughts about some other stuff. It's funny because I thought about you yesterday, Alan, and I put it in the comment, didn't I? I refer back to a video that you set 2 months ago. I think it's about 2 months ago, and I commented and I asked you. I was intrigued. I listened to everything you said on your stream and your video, but I was intrigued and I spoke to you about it. But a lot of what you said, and this is your thoughts and your opinion. A lot of your thoughts and your opinion kind of came to roost. Came to roost yesterday. Ian Daniel Coy says, I don't care what happened yesterday. Don't name someone on this chat from another channel. You'll be timed out. I'm not putting up with this bullshit. Ian Meth says, just read the chat. Looks like everybody is pissed off. Ed M says, the Stuttgart-Frankfurt game was a cracker. Trapp saved the penalty for Eintracht. Really good goals from Mamouche. Better of a free kick and an injury time goal for Stuttgart ruled out by VAR. Aha. So that's where my loss went to. That's where my loss went to. So I'll show you again because obviously you guys either didn't see it, right? Do you want me to do it the normal way? So the normal way would be, as you're aware, and they've gone. Oh, then they were all there a minute ago. Where are they all gone? There they are. Right. Either I can do it like that. Yeah. I can do it like that for you guys. Or today I can do it like this. So option 1 or option 2. Option 2 is a far bigger screen. And it just means I can actually get everybody on the screen with one click. Or do you want me to go through it and do it individually by tabs? The old way is easier, is what Ian's saying. Okay. So I wasn't sure if the person that does it for me is not going to be around to do it, then I'm going to have to do it the way that I just showed you. Destiny's on fire today. Rakdos Alan says, doing well. Sad that we had another visit from Dr. Tottenham though. If people watched me yesterday, so the old way is easier to read, says Ian. The old way, whatever's easiest for me, says Ed. Gus Parker, good afternoon, sir. Yeah, for people that watched, I don't know whether any of you watched the Tottenham, We Are Tottenham TV, the pump up. I was on it yesterday, and these were my words. When I was asked for my prediction for my result, I said, I'm quite comfortable easily getting 1-0 than getting 4-0. But the one thing that I'm sure of, people could have clipped me on this, said the one thing that I'm sure of is that Dr. Tottenham is having a day off today. He's not working Sunday. He's off today. And that's exactly what I said. And then Bobby Kay started laughing and said, yep, but Dr. Tottenham's not going to be around, blah, blah, blah. Well, a few hours later, I came to eat my words, didn't I? Right, so without further ado, there's a lot of people not around. Baloo's here. Good afternoon, Baloo. I hope you're well, sir. Well, I'll start with I'll start with the predictions from. No, I'll start with where I normally start. I'm going to start with predict the football. Needed to come up. Right, predict the football. There's no change this week. We still have the same leader, but people have made up points. People have made up points. So, predict the football. Predict the football. The Sheriff is leading on predict the football by goal difference from Graham. Spurs GCTV. Graham has flown. Graham is up there in joint, well, second, because the goal difference for Mark is better. Tot Spurs, look at that, he's flown up that table. Tot Spurs has gone into third place. Graham just joined us, Spurs GCTV. Graham, just noting that you're second, Graham. You're on goal difference with the Sheriff. Danny is in fourth on 89, so he's within shouting distance. Destiny 5 is up there in fifth with 88 points. The points are not that much because with this, you get 5 points in this game for a correct score. So you can fly up. A couple of correct scores, you fly up. So Destiny's up there on 89. Sorry, on 88. Kevin Clark is on 86 and is sixth, who's a previous leader. Nate Pye is on 84 in seventh. Chris Peters, another previous leader, is an eighth on 83. Rob Belcher is ninth on 81. Alan is 10th on 81, but has predicted 11 games less than the people above him. Edem, you're in the show. You're currently 11th. Ryan, you're currently 13th because I can see that you're here. Jose, me, I'm 22nd in this one. 22nd. I think what I need to start doing is, because I've got a bit of a mixture on mine, and I've got to start doing something. I've got a bit of a mixture where I've gone for I think 2 weeks, 2 of these weeks, I've gone for the same scores as what I do in predictions. And every other week, I've changed a load of them. And I can't remember who I spoke to. And one of the Australians would tell me it's either David or Peter. I spoke to them on Saturday morning, our time. And I said to them, with the Brighton game, I had Brighton to win 2-1. And at the last minute, I've changed it to Man City to win 4-1. Lesson learned. Sometimes just go with your gut feeling and don't change your score. I had 2-1 Brighton and I changed it to 4-1 Man City. I don't know if we've got many other people in the chat that I've seen at the moment that are in this. Adrian, you're 32nd, but Adrian, you don't put you don't tend to put you haven't put any scores on this one. You've only done 20 results, so you've missed 9 weeks of it. But even though you've done that, mate, you're still sitting 32nd. And that's about it. That's about it. I can't see anyone else there that's in the show at the moment. Right. So let's get out of that one. And then we go to Fantasy League. Let's see what's happening in the Fantasy League. We always do these in order before predictions. And in Fantasy League, we have, again, I don't think we've got a new leader in the Fantasy League. I'm sure we haven't got a new leader in the Fantasy League. Good afternoon, Jesse. Jesse's just joined. Good afternoon. Right. So I'm not too sure whether these people change their teams or not, or whether they just let them ride. I'm not sure. But because they never seem to move places much. So you've got James, loves Spurs. Just a harmless potatoes above him. Tigara's above him. Colin has climbed a space or two because he's in green. Then you've got Destiny 5, 55th. Now, Destiny must not change his team. He must threaten to change it, but never does. Then you've got Julie Tottenham Mum, Pub King, Kells, and Sahil take us up to 51st. And then from bottom to top, I only ever talk about the greens. So the Sheriff has climbed into 47th. Jeff has climbed into 46th. One of my teams, Tel Cockerel, is in 41st. John Clark is gone into 40th. Carl Simpson into 39th. Zoe into 38th. In Lee Nick We Trust, I've gone into 37th. Then the next biggest mover in 28th is my good lady, although I picked her team for her. And then we have Neil in 26th. Scott Colliver is 25th, an Aussie boy. Milton, 23rd, another Aussie boy, 23rd. Tottenham Josh from Spurs Live is 21st. Rob Belcher, so Rob's gone into 20th. Ronnie is gone into 19th. Daniel E is up into 14th. Phil Coys is up into 13th. Nathan Patis is gone into 11th. Anthony Herbert has climbed into 10th. Blake has gone into 6th. Side Dancer has gone into 4th. Jamie Imba has gone into 3rd. Ryan is 2nd. And still holding on to the lead this week by 12 points, which means that he's extended it by a point from last week, is Marlon. Marlon with Lace FC is still top. Marlon's team this week scored him 58 points, and he had a team consisting of Bernd Leno in goal from Fulham. Virgil van Dijk got him 6 points. Mazraoui got an assist or something because he's got 8 points. Gabriel got him 2 points. Semenyo got him 2. Saka got him 2. And Buemo got him 5. Palmer as captain 4 points. Haaland 5 points. Delap 11 points. Welbeck 2 points. Interestingly, this is the team for Marlon, and Marlon hasn't got one Tottenham player in that team. I wonder why. So he scored 58 points this week. So well done to Marlon, and he keeps the lead, and he's extended it by 1. Going back to that league again. So Ryan got 57. Who else? Who scored highly this week? Right, look at this. Iwobi, top table with Iwobi. He's got 83 points. What team did he pick? He's got the most points I can see. So this guy had Pickford in goal, who got him 11 points. Alexander Arnold and Dallo got him a point each. Virgil van Dijk scored 6. Brennan Johnson 2. Smith Rowe 11. Mbuemo 5. Mo Salah captain 28. Nicholas Jackson 2. Isaac 11. Raul 5. So he scored 80 odd points this week. That is not a bad jump. So well done to this person who's got Iwobi top table. Well done to him. Right, let me come out of that. Right, predictions time. Bit of the show that people might like is a bit of predictions. Right, predictions. Let me just check before we look. There were 15 games this week. Let me check. There was 15 games for definite this week. Right, I'm just going to do the average for the week. Right, the average for the week is 8.5 points. You've got 8. Well, it's going to say 8 because you don't get more than 8. You don't get an 8.5. But 8 points and above. Good afternoon, Cole. I see you just chopped in. So good afternoon, Cole, as well. This week was the most week. So it was the week that we had the most players predicting. This week we had a total of 66 players predict this week. And the average points are 8.5. But you might as well call it 8 because 8 gives you below average. 9 gets you above average. So we'll call it 8. 8 is the average. Some of you have already told me what you think you got. Before I start showing you, tell me in the chat, how many points do you think you got? Daniel, you already told me yesterday on another show, and you're quite right in what you said you had. What you said you had. Anyone else got any guesses on how many points they think they got this week? Some of you will be bang on the money, and some won't. Edem thinks he got 9. I'll only say yes if you're right. If you're not, then I will say no, it's not correct. Edem believes he got 9. Edem, you didn't get 9. Edem, you may have got 9. So Edem, I owe you a point. You did get 9. Sorry, I've just seen it. You did get 9, Edem. So I owe you a point. So what I'll do, Edem, is I'm going to change you on the table. But because I've already downloaded these, it's difficult for me to change it. But I'm going to change the points. So next week they're reflective. So you've got a point more than what's reflected on screen. All right, a point more. What have we got? You got afternoon. Carl Simpson. How many of those 66 players predicted Spurs are crap? Well played to them. Carl Simpson. We have one person, if he wants to admit, he's in the chat. We had one person who actually predicted the correct score between Tottenham and Ipswich. Gus says he thinks he got 8. But that's down to that person to tell people whether he wants to say it or not. Gus Parker, you say you think you got 8. Mr. P, where are we, Mr. P? Let me find Mr. P. No, Mr. P, you did not get 8. Ian says 11 or 12. So Ian's coming with me at 2 numbers. Ian, it is one of those numbers. Mikey Ryan says, I'll be surprised we've got average. Hello, all. Hope my Spurs family. Oh, and chat are doing well. Good afternoon, Mikey. Sorry, good morning to Mikey. Hope you're well. Ryan G says he thinks he got 11. No, Ryan G, you didn't get 11. And now that you've said that, I need to quickly just scan with my eyes quickly to make sure that I'm right in saying you didn't get. No, you didn't get 11. Right, so no, Ryan G, you didn't get 11. Alan says he believes he got 5. If you did, then it's one of your lower weeks because you're normally towards double figures. No, Alan, you didn't get 5. Carl Simpson says 2. Really, Carl? I'm going to tell you now. That's a no. That's a definite no for Carl. Jesse says 9. No, that's not right, Jesse, either. So Jesse's not right. Let me just make sure. No, Jesse's not right. Maybe 3 for Mikey Romero. Mikey Romero, where's Mikey? Mikey's here. No, Mikey, you're incorrect. And then Mikey says 5. You can't have 7 chances. I'm just going to say no to the first number I saw. Adrian, you reckon 9. I think you write yours down, Adrian. See, I can go back to the list. Adrian, you did get 9. You did get 9. Destiny reckons you got 8. No, Destiny, you did not get 8. Just checking, because you always alarm me when you not tell me that you got certain things. Checking, check. Complete. No, you didn't get 8. Big old 0 after last week, says Johnny Bethnal Green. Are you talking about yourself, Johnny, getting a 0? Is that what you're saying? Because if you are Johnny Bethnal Green, and I don't think you got a 0 last week anyway, Mr. Bethnal Green, you definitely didn't get a 0. Daniel Coy says he's happy with his score, but he could have done better. Hello, Ronnie. How are you? Ronnie reckons he got 8 points. Ronnie, you have... Yes, Ronnie, you did get 8 points. Good afternoon, Nigel. I hope you're well, sir. EMF said that his score was helped by the capitulation at Tottenham. For those that don't know, Ian predicted the 1-2 score. He was the only person to predict the Tottenham score. Good afternoon, Drula. Drula's here. And then Drula says she believes she got 4 points. Miss Drula, you got... Yes, you did, Miss Drula. You got 4 points. Cheers, Jose, says Carl's still sulking over Spurs. Everyone is, mate. Everyone is. There's not one person. Daniel says that out of 15 scores, he got 7 predictions right, and 5 of them were score predictions. We'll wait and see. We're coming to that bit right now. Ryan keeps changing his mind, so he's flip-flopping like a lot of people do. And we've got many of them, and we know many of them. Right, so we'll go to it. We'll go to it. This is how you've done this week, people. Right. The first game ended up being... Oh, that's wrong. Okay. We'll start from here anyway. The first game ended up being Brentford 2, Bournemouth 2. And for that, the only people... Did anyone get that correct? Sorry, it's Brentford 3. Brentford 3, Bournemouth 2. And nobody got this. Yes, there was. There was. Look at this. Look at this. Kate from Just to Go to Los Spurs. Now the perfect match. She's the only person that predicted 3-2. Only person that predicted 3-2. The second game of the week was Crystal Palace 1. Sorry, Crystal Palace 0, Fulham 2. So 0-2. So nobody predicted that score at all. So as you go through the list, no one predicted that score. Some people had the away win, but no one had 0-2. The next game we had was Everton versus West Ham, which ended up 0-0. And I laughed at some of these people. But the 0-0 was predicted by Kuva. Kuva99 predicted 0-0 and was the only person to do so. The next game was Brian's beloved Wolves. And with his beloved Wolves, they won 2-0. And as you can see, there was Nick Collison, Richard, Kate, Totspurs, Rome Van Son, Mikey Romero, Angus, Paul G, Bobby K, Colin Blackshaw, Phil Coys, Dan Coys, Graham, Destiny, Ronnie, and Smithy all got the correct score. So well done, you guys. And then we move on to Manchester City, Brighton 2, Man City 1. Jose had 2-1, and Jose on the show changed it to 1-4. I had 2-1, and I said it on screen. I said, I've got 2-1, and I changed it to 1-4. And I told David Shearer or Peter Kagais over the phone that I'd done this. Before the game started, this is because I spoke to him before the game, and it was a 2-1 victory. So for that, you need to thank the people that got it right were Graham, got that right. Phil Coy's got that right. Tot Spurs got that right. Nick Roundtable Talk got that right. David Shear got that right. And the Spurs Danalist got that right. Next game we go to is Liverpool versus Aston Villa, which ended up 2-0 to the Pool. And the people that got this right were the Spurs Danalist, the Sheriff, Ian Meth, Chang, Hanno, Queen Ellie, Paul G, Gus Parker, Phil Coys, Anthony Herbert, Graham, Quesali, Johnny Bethnal Green, The Wiz, and Peter Kagaius all got that one correct. All got that one correct. And then we have the next game. And the next game was Manchester United against Leicester. That was 3-0. Easy peasy for Manchester United. Dan Coy's correctly predicted 3-0. Phil Coy's correctly predicted 3-0. So did Colin Blackshaw. So did Soren and Bobby K. Tot Spurs. Nick Collison all predicted the correct score. The game after that was Nottingham Forest versus Newcastle, which ended up 1-3. And for this score, only people that predicted this correct were up there. You've got Soren, who predicted it correct. And also Big Bad John. They were the only people to correctly predict the Forest Newcastle game. Tottenham versus Ipswich. Woo. 1-2. Well, Potato Stew went for 0-4, got a point. Gus Parker went for 0-1 and got a point. Nobody on there got a point. And down here, look at that. Ian Meth, correct scoreline. 1-2. Correct scoreline. Staying on this page, it was Chelsea 1, Arsenal 1. And the correct scores came in from Ian again, Ian Meth, Nick Collison, Jim, Chris Peters. Who's above Grant? Because that must be Chris Peters, surely. Baloo also got the correct score, and so did Hanno. They got the correct score. So they are currently missing from there, but they got the correct score. Oh, yeah, so Baloo and Hanno got the correct score. Paul G got the correct score. Side Dancer, correct score for Chelsea Arsenal. And then we have Smithy. There's a train. Smithy, Adrian, Johnny Bethnal Green, Quezza Lee, Big Bad John, Graham, Dan Coys, and Colin Blackshaw all predicted the 1-all draw. My only correct prediction of the week came in the Nice-Lille game, 2-all draw. And that was predicted by me, Alan, Side Dancer, Neil, Grant Packham, and Richard from Raw is War. The game last night, which was the last game, but was on this list, but was the last game, was the 1-all draw between Inter Milan and Napoli. And this was correctly predicted by Spurs analyst Mark Cousins, Edem, and Dan Coys. The only people to get that right. Stuttgart versus Eintracht Frankfurt ended up being 2-3. Ash P, I owe you. Ash P, that should be green. She got the correct score. So I'm going to have to change Ash's score and give her an extra 2 points. So Ash gets an extra 2 points. Ash got that correct. Sorry, I've just changed it on my screen. And then you've got also Rome Van Sun got that correct. The 2-3. And that was it. And that was it. And the next game was Leganes versus Sevilla, which ended up being a 1-0 victory. And for this one, I don't think anyone got that right, did they? No, they did. They did. Okay. There wasn't many people that predicted it. So, person that predicted the home win was predicted by Taigaro and by Roundtable Talk Nick. But the correct predictions were put in by Vindaloo. Vindaloo put a correct prediction in. Hey, Vindaloo. And then also a correct prediction came in from Phil Coys. And Gus Parker and me all went for the home win. Last game of the week for predictions is Leeds versus QPR. And as we know, that ended up with a 2-0 victory to Leeds, marching on together. And the people that got the correct score were Lee Wiz, Johnny Bethnal Green, Dan Coys, Ryan G, Anthony Herbert, Rob Belcher, Tot Spurs, Chris Peters, Richard from Rory's War, and Nige Pure Coys, all predicting the Leeds game correctly. Right, let me see what you lot have been saying in the chat, because I haven't seen the chat. I haven't seen the chat. Let me have a look. Properties. All right, disconnect that, connect it again. Right, I'm really sorry, but my other laptop's gone down. So what we have got, what are people saying? People are saying, let me see. I almost went 1-2, but took 0-1. Should have known they'd score one, says Gus Parker. Potato Stew says, sorry I'm late. Small down, everyone. Small 6 for me this week. 2 points, says Dekaru. Bottom of the table. You're not, Dekaru. You're definitely not bottom. 8 points is fine with Mikey Romero. Good morning, Mr. Shear. How are you, sir? I hope you are well. I had a good chat with you. Bloody hell, it would have been, I thought it was your evening when I talked to you, but now it's early morning for you. So good morning, sir. What a goal by Cunha. His assistant was lovely too. Proper player, says Ed M. One correct prediction is great too, says Mikey Romero. Slow move up the table. 17 points, Ryan, mate. So DC's rubbing it in to Ryan. Then you've got Potato Stew says, sweet. Seems I've got 7 here. I'll take it. Nice. I just need to change Ash's score, which I had. So I need to find her now and add 2 points to her and know that she's changing next week. Right. Change that to that. And then that to that. And then she moves up the table as well. Right. So for the people that I've got wrong, or the couple of people that I did notice the mistakes, I will rectify these next week. But for the time being, I'm unable to do so. So you've got great week from who's that? Great week, Daniel. My fellow Shropshire man had 6 correct scores. Yes, I couldn't tell people, but I knew that someone had done really, really well. And it was, yeah, Phil Coyes absolutely smashed it. Smashed it out of the park, Phil Coyes. And then you go, you go, bloody hell, Phil. He ain't a challenger to me right now, Ryan. Only care about people near the top, mate. David Shear has gifted a membership, an Tel Cockerel membership. Thank you very much, David. And that's gone to Andy LUFC. So one of our Leeds brethren has got that. Then you're all saying hello to each other. You're lucky Niche scored last minute, or I would have had another 3 points. Yeah, we're all lucky that we're all lucky that everything went Daniel's way this weekend. We're all really lucky. Small down to you, Dan. Small down to you. Let me see. We've got any more comments? Side Dancer says, hi, everyone. Daniel Coy says, Leeds and Wolves right. Shame I couldn't get my own team score right. Brother from Down Under, we've got Ben's here. Afternoon, everyone. I'm still infuriated about yesterday. Time for this experiment 10. Everyone is infuriated at the moment with this, Ben. You're not the only one. Everybody is infuriated. But we talking predictions. Baloo says, how many points did I get? Baloo, you got, I had it up on the screen a minute ago, Baloo. This week, Baloo, you got, I have to hide the comment. Bear with me a second. Baloo, how many did you get? There you go. Baloo, you got 7 points this week, Baloo. 7 points. If you can see yourself, you're third from there. You're above Matty Kushner, but beneath Hanno. If you go right across, you got 7 points this week, Baloo. So well done, you, sir. The tables are coming up now, so you'll be able to see where you've all gone to. I will say, like I said, and I'm going to repeat again, this week we had 66 people take part this week. That's the most we've had in 1 week take part. So there was a lot of people that came back to play this week. And we had some new players as well. Peter Kagaias has also gifted 5 Tel Cockerel memberships. It's very kind of you, Peter. And these have gone to Drula, Nick from Roundtable Talk, Scott Colliver, Two Sides of a Pitch podcast. That'd be Colin, I think, and Gamecock. So if you've seen these, then come in and say thank you to Peter. And also, Andy LUFC, if you come in, it's a thank you to David Shear. Ange Ball is here. Says, big up Jose in chat. Come on, you Spurs. What else we got? Ange Ball says, such a demoralising. Oops, sorry. Ange Ball says, such a demoralising result yesterday. When are we going to get it right? Everybody is in the same boat. We're all absolutely pissed off with yesterday's score. Baloo says, I see it's okay. I see it okay. Thanks, Jose. Then Drula saying thank you to Peter, and Peter is speaking back to Drula. Cooper says, close this shit down, Jose. I'm done with the predictions league. Bring on the Fanny Cat videos. Who's with me? Ange Ball says, my predictions were terrible this week. Ben says, I'm with you, Coobs. Silly cats till I die. We're tight like the weather, Daniel. It must be sunshine. I don't know whether you got to see, Cooper, what you've got this week. And Ben, who only did one prediction but got it right. It's fantastic. Scored a point again, Ben, this week from your one prediction. Kuva, where's Kuva? Kuva's there. Kuva, you got 10 points, mate. You got double bubble. You got 10 points this week. Done well there, Kuva. Double bubble. And just to ensure, where's me man Ben? Oops. Me man Ben, there's Ben. Look, Ben Kaufman went for 18-6, and because it was a 3-2 victory, Ben still gets a point. So Ben scored a point again this week. So well done, you Ben. One prediction, 1 point. God, it's a strike rate and a half, isn't it? Strike rate and a half. Right. So we're getting to the league. Ben says shit. Ben says shit. Right. League table. And I'm going to have to find it on my screen as well. It's rigged. Kuma says, oh, wow, more than I thought. Okay, Cats next week. Yeah, the league table is going to come up, but the average points this week was 8. The man of the week, obviously, and the person who's got the highest ever score with 15 predictions is Phil Coyce. Phil Coyce scored 19 points, and that's the biggest points that we've seen in a week. The other noticeable mentions would be people that had 17, which would be Graham, Dan Coy's noticeable mention on 17, and then people that had 16 points this week need a mention as well is, I think it's Colin Blackshaw got 16. Yeah, Colin Blackshaw got 16 points. And then we go down to the 15ers. God, it's pretty difficult looking up and down this thing. The 15 pointers this week. Was there any 15 pointers? Yeah, there was. You've got Johnny Bethnal Green, who got 15 points. Well done, Johnny Bethnal Green. 15 points. And then the 14 pointers this week, if there were any, were. Do we have any 14 pointers? Yes, we do. We have Spurs on 14 points this week. And then we go roll down to 13. I'm only going to read the ones that got double figures. Roll down to 13 points, and we have Side Dancer got 13 points. And then if I roll down to 12, we've got Big Bad John. He got 12 points this week. The Anthony Herbert scored 12 points this week. Paul G scored 12 points this week. Ian Meth, 12 points this week. Mark Cousins, 12 points. Spurs Danalyst, 12 points. Dave Williams, 12 points. And then when we go to the 11 pointers, Nick Collison, who did none of the bonus predictions, scored 11 points. Rome Van Son in his first week, 11 points. Gus Parker, 11 points. And then we go to the 10 pointers, and then I'll only go down to 10. But 10 points, you got well done to Smithy for getting 10. Quez Ali got 10. Kuva got 10. Ryan G got 10. Soren first week got 10. And that's where it all ends. So league table from top to bottom then. From top to bottom. So again, as you're all aware, if you're in green, it's that you've gone up in the league. If you are blue, it's because it's your first week. And if you remain white, it's because you've either remained the same as what you were last week or you've dropped down. And the league table is as follows. So, it's this one. So, or I need to set the comment off. Let me take this comment off. Right, so the league table. Dekaru, you've not bottom. There are 97 people. The person that you can't see at the bottom there is Matthew. Matthew is 97th. So Dekaru, first week, you're in blue. Dekaru's gone into 95th. So you're already third from bottom after 1 week, Dekaru. Well done, you, sir. Ben Kaufman has climbed into 92nd. His one and only prediction got him a point, which raised him to 92nd for Ben. And the rest of the people, all the way up to Lisa O, have not moved and have remained the same. Next part of the table. We have Soren in blue because his first week has gone into 78th. Rome Van Sun, first week into 76th. Baloo, your points have made you climb to 75th. Jesse, you've gone into 70th. Ash P's got 2 more points there. So Ash P actually replaces Lord Rodney and Neil on alphabetical order. So Ash P is actually in 67th, but she still moves up, and so does Neil, and so does Jesse. So they're all correct. Then you have Anthony Herbert, who's gone up into 62nd. Nick Collison, 61st. Potato has gone up into 60th. Leo, who's over here in London at the moment, has gone into 57th. And then we have the train of... Oh, am I going far too ahead of myself? Yeah. Then we have Vindaloo at 50 and 55th. Jim from the Perfect Match. I need to change it. I've got it because this is how it started. He's gone into 54th. Then you have in 52nd, who you can't see at the moment, it's just below Mark Cousins. If I stop this, you'll be able to see it. Mark Spurs Danalist is currently gone into 52nd. Mark the Sheriff has gone into 51st. Kate has gone into 49th. Grant in 48th. Side Dancer into 47th. The Queen has gone into 45th. Finn Rickwood into 44th. Nick into 40th. Then we have Nita in 38th. Gus 37th. Chang 36th. Phil Coy's jumped up to 35th place with his 17 points. Then you have Bobby Kane 31st. Richard has gone into 30th. Smithy has gone into 27th. Mikey Romero into 26th. Top of the table. Then we have Paul G into 22nd. Johnny Bethnal Green has gone into 18th. Ian Meff into 17th. Big Bad John into 16th. Colin Blackshaw has gone into 13th. Totspurs into 10th. Ryan G has gone up to 8th. Coover up to 7th. Spurs GCTV is now gone into 3rd. And our leader, here once more, is Dan Coys. But this week, with the points that he got, he's opened up a 12-point gap at the top from Adrian and from Graham. Not sure, but I think Daniel had a 4-point gap last week. But this week's points have catapulted the young buck into first place by 18 points. Let me see what the chat's saying. I'm sure the young buck's got to say something about that. What we got? You've got Potato Stew says, I love this. Says, what? Yet again below average. But 19. Wow. Small downs. This is catching. This is catching. Ryan, I'm well above average. I've heard that before as well, mate. There we go. Gus Parker, no idea what I got. My screen's blurred as. Gus, you got 11. I think you might have got 11 points, but you've climbed up the table. If I remember rightly, Gus. I do think I said your name. Yeah, you've climbed into 37th, Gus. Potato Stew says, my enjoyment came from the Wolves result. It made me smile. Cooper says, Ryan G and I are like brothers in this football lark, except for he'll get to watch his team get relegated and cry all summer. Ooh, ooh. David G's Cooper, haha, a velvet gloved smackdown. Mr. M is here, saying evening. Good evening, Mr. M. I hope you are well, sir. I hope you're well. Daniel Coy says, that's what I'm effing talking about. Roundtable Talk says, morning, y'all. I had a down week. You keep going with the same scores. I keep saying this all the time. It doesn't always work, the 2-1 home victories. But you want to keep doing it. It's the easiest way for you to do. It's a bit like Brian Daigle when Brian Daigle said last year, just put me down to 2-2 for every game. If I'm not around, just put me down to 2-2. But this year, people have got to be about it. Now, if you tell me to do, if you said to me you want 1-0 across the board, I'll do you 1-0 across the board. But at the end of the day, it's your calls to make, people. Small down, everyone, is coming in from Dan again. Says, big up, everyone. I say small down back to everyone. Small down, everyone. Small down. Potato Stew says, okay, 50th is 38 points, and I'm 10 behind. Nice, all to play for. I said to you guys, I'm fully convinced, right, that at least half the people, if not more, well, no, in fact, I'm going to go longer than that. If people continue to play, right, I'm saying that everybody that played this week, right, if they continue to play, they will break 100 points. The only anomaly there might be Ben. If Ben's trying to, go for mad results and they don't come off, then Ben may not get there. But everybody else who took part this week, I think will break 100 points comfortably. So, yeah, happy days. Yep, you've seen it now. You got there in the end. Baloo says that he's going to do his best from now on. Yes, Baloo, you've climbed up already. Like I said, everybody that played this week will score a minimum of 100 points by the end of the season. At the bare minimum, you'll probably get a lot more than that. But I'm just saying, the bare minimum, you'll get 100 points comfortably. Gus Parker says he got there in the end. No worries whatsoever. Roundtable Talk has come in, thanking Peter for his membership. Mikey Romero says, am I tied for 25th or 26th? I saw the same points as James loves Spurs. The way that it's done, so where are you, Mikey? Are you here? No. Are you here? Right. So the way it works out, Mikey, oh, no, you're 26th there. Shit, let me just take this comment off, because if I take the comment off, then it's easier for me to see. Right. So you're 26th, right? Right. Do you know what? Yeah, Mikey, you're right. You should be one place above, because you've got one more correct prediction. So you're actually in 25th, and James loves Spurs is 26th. So that's a flip. So I'll flip that round for the next time, so we're aware. But you've done well. You're 25th, Mikey. So thank you for pointing it out. You are 25th, because what it goes by predictions and then correct scores, but predictions comes first, right? And then if you're on the same points and on the same amount of correct predictions, then it'll go in alphabetical order. So I tend to look at the correct predictions and then alphabetical order. But well done, Mikey. That's it, Kuba. My A game is coming out now. Kuba's getting these people riled. Getting them riled, Kuba. Daniel says, hashtag road to 150 points. Hashtag. Nick says, my lowest score week was for 9 points. Still got like 10 points. If you want to be troubling the people at the top, Nick, you need to be getting a few of the big points. Not to say you can't get them, because there's a long way to go. And next week, on Friday, we will have a show because it's International Week. And I've got to find predictions. And I'm telling you now, right, I've seen what football is being played this weekend. And I'm kind of, do you know what? I ain't going to look at I don't particularly want to look at League One or League Two or Scottish Champ, Scottish First, Scottish Second, Challenge Cups, and all that. I'm looking further afield. I'm going to see if I can find fixtures from further afield. And I haven't checked, but I've got time later on this week to check. And I'm going to see if I can find other fixtures. If I can't, then I have to go back to doing what we do. But I'm gonna look to see if I can find, I don't know, the Zimbabwean third division regional or something like that, or something like Indonesia's sixth division and stuff. I'm gonna check. I've got Flash Score on my phone, and that gives me the scores from all throughout the world. So it'll also give me the fixtures. So I'm gonna look at the fixtures, and I'm gonna pick some right, if I can, some right dodgy games. So it will offer us some freak results. Or I can just pick the games that people know more about, and it's more chance of people scoring points. I haven't decided yet, but Friday we'll still be doing it. But there's no Premiership, so relax on Predict the Prem, relax on fantasy football, because there's none of that this week. But there will be predictions, international break special. 21st from 13th, says Drewler. Need to get your A game back, Drewler. You were getting like 10s and 11s a few weeks ago, week after week, and you start flying up the table. It's kind of just a little bit off at the moment, but I'm sure your radar will come back on, darling. Your radar will definitely come back on. Nick says, I'm in 40th. I didn't start until like week 4. The strategy is working just fine. You're cool, son. You're cool. David Shit says, okay, Daniel, you're shitting me to tears now. Daniel Coy says, any tips needed? I'm accepting payments in installments as well. Anthony Herbert, good afternoon. Big up, Jose. Small down to you, Anthony. Tottenham had a poor result, but is Anne's job safe? And also, where would you finish this season? Anthony, his job's safe at the moment, and we will finish in the Premier. How's that for an answer for you, Anthony? Just for you, sir. I don't know whether you saw, Anthony, but you scored this week, sir. There's Anthony Herbert. Right, I'll take your comment off to see if I can find you again, Mr. Herbert. There you are. Anthony Herbert scored 12 points this week, Anthony. 12 points. And amongst that, you had 2-2-0 correct predictions for Leeds and Liverpool. You got the correct predictions in them games. So 12 points for you, mate. And them 12 points have catapulted you to Anthony. You're in green, so that means you climbed into 62nd place out of 97 or 98 people. So Anthony, you're on the move this week, mate. You're on the move. You're on the move. I'll save your question, Ange Paul, for a second. What else we got? David Shear says, Daniel, I got 17. It took me 4 weeks to get it. Awesome, thanks. Love these predictions every week, says Mike Romero. I got a combined 30 in the last 2 rounds, David, mate. Small Downs on fire, Small Downs on fire. Da 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 da. Small Downs on fire. Right. Adam says that referee David Coote suspended for being caught on video calling Jurgen Klopp a and being derogatory about Liverpool players. League On can't have League On because they'll be playing, I believe. They'll have friendlies. Oh, sorry. If your international teams are playing, then your Premier Division or your First Division of whatever league you're in won't be on. So in the MLS, I would have thought that, I don't know, if the USA have got friendly matches or whatever, I would have thought that then the MLS would be off. Same as the A-League. I don't know, is the A-League on, David? Because, if Australia are playing in games, don't they suspend your league like they do for the rest of the leagues? If they don't suspend them, I'll find them, but I will be looking to see if I can find some games. But see, haha, it's a game within a game, trying to find what we predict. Daniel Coys, he's trying to screw me over, Jose. What he don't know is I watch all football, Mozambique League, Mexico 3rd Division. You ain't tricking me, mate. Gus Parker says he knows about Backwalker leagues. Yes, side dancer. What about non-league? There are non-league matches. I could well look at the non-league. Daniel's trying to rub it in with you, Driller. Says Driller was ahead of me 4 weeks ago. Ryan G's trying to do. Yeah, you were below me as well, Daniel. Now you're like 20 points ahead. David Shear saying he was only 19. Big Bad John. Big Bad John, you've had a good week, sir. You are. I'll show you Big Bad John. There you are. Big Bad John. John, you scored 12 points this week, John. You had 2 correct scores in there. You had a 1-1 draw for Chelsea Arsenal, and you had the 3-1 away victory for Forest Newcastle. And then you had 6 other predictions and 2 correct predictions. So 12 points for you, John, this week, mate. And then 12 points has catapulted you, John. You have gone up. Look at that. Big Bad John, you're in 16th place now. So all just for you, John, just because I saw that you came in, I thought I'd share that with you. You had a really good week, and you've climbed into 16th. So well done you, John. Well done you. LM says the Bundesliga too. Yeah, I'll have to look to it. If it's on, I'll find it. Any leagues that I'm find, if they're on, I will find them. It's just that the easiest way is possibly just looking at the English matches that are on and just going bang, 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 bang. But this week we had Leeds again. Peer pressure. We had Leeds again. But then I picked one game from each of the top five leagues, in the sense that we picked the 10 Premiership and one from each of the other 4 of the 5 leagues. So done that differently. We've done the FA Cup. I've done League One. We've done League Two. We've done Scottish Cup Challenge, the Scottish Challenge Cup. I'll nick them from wherever I can nick them, and we'll get them on. I just need to understand how many we want to do. Do we want to do? I might do, because it's predictions bonus week. I always do 15, so I might keep it just to the 15th, and then try and see where we find the games. But I will look at the games, and I will have the games ready for Friday's show. So on Friday's show, if you're in it, if you don't, you need to watch back to find out who's playing who, because this isn't like, you know what, I can just send them because it's the Premiership matches. Because as you see, some people that put predictions in don't put the bonus ones in because they're just doing the Premiership. Some people leave and don't stay on for the bonus, but that's up to you people. Daniel Coy says, I'm not happy that Kubra's predicted more results than me. And Gus Parker says, I can't work out if I'm rubbish or good because I haven't started a week 1. Don't know how many weeks I've done. I don't know how many weeks you've done either, Gus, but in saying that, you're 37th already. You're on 60 points. Quarter of the way through possibly the season we are at the moment. And when I say quarter of the way through, we're quarter of the way through if you look at all the Premiership matches, because that's going to be week 38. So when we do this week, we're currently today on week 11, right? At the end of the week, when we do the predictions, it'll be week 11B, because it'll be 11 bonus, because it's a bonus week. So we'll still be on week 11, but you've done two weeks worth of predictions. Does that make sense? So basically, if you do the 38-week league Premiership games, so that'd be week 38. But then amongst that, you would have had, this will be our 3rd international break this year, this season. So that's 3. So that makes it 41 weeks. We've got 2, I think I'm aware of 2 next year, right? So that will take you to 43. Then I'm not sure, but if we have that break in January where 5 Premiership teams play one weekend and the other 5 play the other weekend, during them weekends, I'll be throwing in extra fixtures like I did last year. So basically, everybody, and I mean Every single person that's playing on this, there's no reason that if you play week in, week out, that you're not going to break 100 points. You'll break 100 comfortably. Now, last year, I think I looked at the table last year, and I think 41 people may have broken it last year, something like that. It wasn't ridiculously high, but there was 119 people that played. But you will break 100 points. There is no reason why you can't break 100 points this year. And some of you will go on to break 200 and possibly more. I don't know. This year, it'll be interesting because I didn't throw bonus scores in during the games like we're doing now. And last year, I don't know. I can't remember what the highest score was that Tottenham got because he won it last year. I can't remember who we got, but this year, no doubt. No doubt about it. This year, you can get a lot more points. A lot more points this year. Daniel Coy says, keep adding the bonus, mate. You're just giving me more opportunities to increase my lead. No surprise, mate. Since you put it in the bonus weeks, I've shot up the league. Well done, you, Dan. Keep going, son. I love it. Just keep going. All the best. As long as you're happy, then I'm happy. I need to keep you happy. So if you're happy, I'm happy. Good night, my friends. Thank you, Jose Cobber. Mr. Shear. It's been a pleasure, sir. Thank you very much. I bid you a good kip, my friend, and until we speak again. So, people, there you have it. That's your fixtures, that's your scores, that's your results for this week. As I said, I will be doing another show on Friday, and we'll do it again at 4 o'clock, where it will be the international bonus week predictions, and I will do that again on Friday. And once I've done that on Friday, that's the only show that I've planned so far for this week. I know we've got an international break, but it means I can catch up with my work. I must admit, I do like streaming, but it means I've got to catch up with my work. So I'm going to catch up with my work, and I'll be away for work for the next couple of days as well. So I'm hoping I could be back. I think I'm doing something on Thursday on Spurs. Nigel Purecoys and Spurs Danalist. I think I'm doing something on their channel. They've invited me on theirs, and I think that's Thursday evening. I think so. Friday we'll do the predictions. Oh, dogs are going mad. Bear with me a second. Oh, it's interesting that they must crap themselves, these people, when they come to my door. Yeah, so Friday I'll be doing the prediction show, and the results show will be the following Monday. May do some stuff this weekend. Could do some stuff this weekend. Might do a member show or something this weekend, to keep it rolling. But yeah, if you're looking to, I'm not looking to be too negative with everything this week, because negativity is not good for people's health. So, try and steer clear of it. We are all pissed off. We're all down. Sorry, that's the Tottenham supporters. It's not the Wolves supporters, and any Liverpool supporters are here, or Leeds supporters. You're not down. We're down, and we will. We'll get out of bed tomorrow morning, and we'll still be breathing, and we'll be happy for ourselves. But anyway, thank you very much, everyone. I wish you all the very best. Have a really good week. And just, notification bell will tell you when we're next back on. Angel said, Jose, on the table where it says predict, is that the total predictions you've made since the start? Just wondering how many weeks I've missed. No, Angel, right, it's not. I'm going to answer this question before we go, right? So when you look at it, so we'll look at the top, right? So correct 18, predict 64 means that if you look at the points, you get 1 point for predicting. So let's say, for argument's sake, Brentford, Bournemouth. If you went for Brentford to beat Bournemouth 3-2, that's a correct prediction. So it goes in the correct column and it scores you 3 points. If you predict Bournemouth to win 2-1, but they've won 3-2, because the home win team still won, you get a point for that. So predictions is a point, and the correct prediction gives you 3. And so from the people that are on equal points, so Adrian and Graham are on the same points on 106. But it goes on correct predictions, and Adrian has 1 correct prediction more than Graham. So he's ahead of him on that. Had they both been equally the same, 18-18, with the same points, then Adrian will still be ahead of him by the virtue of alphabetical order. Simple as that. That's the way that we do it. So I hope that explains that for you, mate. And apart from that, I need to thank Mr. Shear, 4-month member, saying, "G'day, Cobber kids, kicking, I'm out. Always keep the faith." And also thanking him for a gifted membership. And also thanking Peter Kagaias for 5 gifted memberships. Thank you for sponsoring the show today. People, I will be back with you, as I said, by the end of the week. So thank you very much. I wish you all peace and love, and I shall catch up with you soon. And come on, you mighty Spurs. And in the big Ange, I trust. See you later, everyone.